Hello team, another video, and I'm a little disappointed with the results of the last one. After polling most of the staff, a lot of people didn't even view it. The other thing that was really disappointing is I did it as a test in a couple of ways. One was to see whether or not anybody thought it was suspicious. I've never sent it to you before. It was very short on purpose. The link was there. There was not really a lot of detail in the email. That was all on purpose, and one technician asked the right questions. No others did. One technician sent me an email, "Hey David, did you send this to me? This seems a little suspicious." So I'm wondering how many of you really understand phishing and really understand virus activity, because guys, I would never even think about clicking on a link like that if you sent it to me with no explanation, without a follow-up. So let's pay real close attention to the emails that are coming in and try to get that covered up. The other thing that I was really disappointed in is I don't think you folks understand I'm trying to save us all time. We can get together and meet in the office from 5:30 until 7:30 or 8 at evenings if you want, or we can do weekend meetings if you want, or I can deliver these messages in video and you folks can watch them and then feedback and give comments and learn from them. And I would rather that way, because this way we can get more done quicker. Now moving on, some of last week's topics, or 2 weeks ago when we did the last video, some of them circled around dispatch. I'm still struggling to get everybody on board with helping Ron and Jessica Batts learn at a faster rate. So you guys have a lot of detail and information about how it should go. You know the way work orders need to look, and I need everybody engaging with these two. When they encounter something that's not correct, like Ron is famous for sending not enough information. So call him, talk to him, email him, give him examples. Hey Ron, it should look like this, and continue working on it, because it will click with Ron. It's just going to take some time. A lot of this is very new for him, but without you helping him, it's not going to happen. The same thing with Jessica Batts. She comes from a different background, but again, this is new to her. First time she's ever worked in the dispatch side and doing this level of ordering. And these are challenges. So rather than looking at it with frustration and anger and saying, geez, this sucks, instead look at it as a teaching moment and say, oh, they missed something, didn't do something correctly, causing me some pain. And then you contact them and you work with them to help them understand. And I'm going to give you some examples of why this is important to me. There's a lot of people who complain about Ray and a lot of people who complain about Ron. But I'm going to tell you something about these two and a couple of other people. Ray is constantly thinking and trying to produce new ideas of how we can improve our procedures and processes. Ron is hot about doing that. He's on it, making suggestions and saying, let's try this, let's do it over here. He wants things to be efficient and effective, but they're actively pursuing it. That's really valuable. While they might be falling short in a couple of other areas, it's really valuable to me as a business operator and to the whole team to have multiple people looking for ways that we can do this better. Give you another example. Mike Goncharov, when he first started, said, really, this is what you're using for remote control software? There's automation processes that can make patches and server management and workstation environments easier to manage. And he's had some experiences with some. So he started looking. He found a couple, tried them out, didn't like them. He's re-engaging in that now. But these are all things that we need. We need more than just one or two people in the company trying to improve processes and trying to get things moving faster. Ryan is another person who always looks this way. What's the most efficient and effective way that we can do this? And he's always proposing new solutions or new processes or new strategies to try to get things running smoother. So if everybody could just be on board with understanding that while you might not personally get along with some of the people, they might frustrate you in some way, look at the value that they're adding, focus on that, and look at helping them come through with some of the shortcomings that they have in ways that you can help them fix it. That's really very important and needed. Now, we're still not scoring the highest level that we need with customers. If you want to ask, what is it that disturbs me the most? What is it that causes me the most amount of time and anguish in trying to think about how can we get through this? It's the complaints from customers on things that we should not be getting complaints about. Lack of communication, not following up on something that you're scheduled to do, not fixing something in a relatively reasonable amount of time, where it might go weeks before you make traction on something, and no communication in the middle of it. I got 3 communications this week from clients asking me to get involved in things because the technicians are failing and it's been a period of time. Now, earlier this week, dispatch got to experience a scenario with me. I did a cybersecurity review for a new client, a prospective new client, and told them I'll get you a report, and that way you can digest it, and there'll be some recommendations in there. I did not give them a day and time that I would give them the report. I left it open because I knew my schedule was just crazy busy. 4 days later, they call our office. Hey, David was going to get me a report. I'd like to kind of re-engage him on it, see if we can get that. It's kind of a hot item we want to move. Dispatch emails that communication to me. What dispatch will tell you is they didn't get any other response from the client because I took care of it. I mean, I took care of it that day. Got them their report, made sure they were happy with it, and then told them just schedule up a conference call whenever you're ready, and they've scheduled it for Monday, a couple of days from now. So you see where I'm coming from, is that it's okay for a client to reach out and say, hey, can you step this up, when you've not done a time commitment for it, right? But then you've got to respond. You've got to do whatever you have to do. Here's how I do it. I either come in earlier, I stay later, I do it on the weekend, I do whatever I have to do to meet that customer need, which is why the office does not get calls from clients that I'm serving saying, hey, David's behind, he's not getting this done, he's not communicating with me, he's not returning my calls. They will never hear that. They might get one poke from a customer saying, hey, can you ask David where we're at with this? But it's rare. I mean, not even once a month that they'll get it from me. Where I've got other people who are watching this video now who won't show up to a conference call or won't show up to a meeting, and they don't call. I mean, it's obvious they forgot it, but then they start making excuses. Oh, I was busy, customer asked me to do this. No, you forgot it. So get your house in order, get your scheduling tools working, get your task lists working, and don't let people keep coming to you asking you where you're at with something. You should be all over it because you're tracking it. And that's where that scheduling component comes in that we covered in the last video. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and look at the previous video as well. I'd like to get some feedback from people on these videos. I'd like to get some opinions. I'd like to get some thoughts. I'd like to get some ideas. We need to move several of these things forward. I don't want it just me to be the talking head on the screen and then nothing's happening. The only reason I'm taking the time to do these is so that we can all improve and show progress. But I need to see that progress, and our customers need to see that progress. And I'm trying desperately to get everybody's attention on some of these items, but man, you end up having to carry the ball on that. You own your results. If you're not watching the videos, if you're not learning from them, if you're not feeding back, then you're out of order, and you need to step it up. You've got some wood to chop if that's the case. And you've got to get busy, you've got to get involved, you've got to get engaged, and we've got to get this done. My job should not be to motivate you. My job should be to take care of you and help make upper line decisions about how things have to flow. But if my job is consumed with trying to get you to do your job, we're really out of order. And my time shouldn't even be spent in that. I'd love for these videos to just be recaps of what we achieved instead of areas that we need to improve on constantly that we're not getting traction on. So can you step up, do your part, make those changes, get your schedule under control, get your task list under control, help train dispatch, help look for new innovative ways to do what we're doing effectively and efficiently, and let's work together as a team and see if we can close this up, see if we can get a better progress moving. I do want to give a shout out to Steve. Steve did a great job in the past week and a half. He's up at BHHS, and Kyle's on vacation. Tiffany's been helping out. I've been helping out Tiffany, but still Steve carries a lot of the load up there, and he's done very, very well. There's had a number of larger issues come through. He addresses every one of them. He's just a good guy. He's getting his feet deeper and deeper into what he's doing, and he's being effective with it. He's been monitoring their backups. He doesn't miss a single day. He's been monitoring the workstation rollout of Windows 10, doing great. Another shout out with Mike Goncharov. He's got some challenges with timing, but he's fixing that. But what a good thinker. Everything that he thinks about, everything that he looks at technically, he's really doing very well with his thought processes and thinking. Tiffany is putting in a lot of time, really capable person. She's working through a number of issues all at one time and needs a little redirection here and there, but great team member. We have so many people who are doing really well, really appreciate the hard work that we're doing, but we also have to get smarter. We can't continue to have customers that are upset because we have failed them. We have to do it right, we have to do it properly, and we have to do it within the process. We can't, Blaine, talking to you, we can't just create the wheel every single time. We have to roll out and do what we know works. And we can't just reinvent every time because we didn't prepare. Not preparing is not the reason to invent something. The best thing to do is be prepared, go out on the job site, and execute the process correctly. Like this work order checklist that's on all of your cube with the 6 items on it. Most of you are not executing that properly. We have a good procedure, we have a good process, but the personnel are leaving it behind, and then you're getting the results there. And I see Eric's follow-ups every day. I don't see anyone else's. So that means you're not doing them. So you're not following the procedure. I hear people picking up the phone and just jumping right into a conversation with a customer, asking them, okay, what's going on? Tell me what you see. That you haven't done your planning. Step 1 is make a plan. Step 1 is make a plan. Step 1 is not pick up the phone and ask them what's going on, but you make a plan just off the description. When they tell me, for example, hey, there's a ticket, user cannot connect in Outlook, before I pick up the phone, I test their webmail. I look at their servers, make sure they're processing mail, and I have a kind of a footing inside of 30 or 45 seconds. I've logged into their webmail system as administrator, I've sent me an email, I've sent it back, and I know their email's working, right? So when I pick up the phone, the conversation goes, hello customer, this is David. I understand you're having problems with Outlook. In preparation for that, I did some tests of sending and receiving mail through your mail server, came through absolutely fine. So let's take a look at your Outlook. I think the server systems are probably okay, and let's see what you're experiencing in your Outlook. Man, that sounds a lot better to a customer than, hey, this is John, what can I do for you? And then they're thinking, if I just told your dispatch person what's going on, have you not done anything? Do you see what I'm saying? And that's step 1 on the page. So let's all get serious about doing the process. Let's all get serious about following the procedure, and let's see if we can pick some of these areas up to where when I walk through the office, all I'm hearing is people following the procedure, and thereby getting the results with the customers that we want to get with them. Those procedures are laid out really carefully with very specific goals. So please help out with that. Stay on with the dispatch, help train them, help them through the questions and issues that they have, and we'll get a better staff in dispatch. I mean, I can't tell you the last time I had somebody like Ron who's highly dedicated to trying to improve the systems, right? Highly dedicated in doing it. So let's get him through the training issues. Let's get him through the memory issues. Let's get him into a process where it's flowing so that we can take advantage of both. Any questions, please send them to me. I'd love to hear them. Any comments, let's get a networks email going and chime in. Let's make some progress. Let's get out there and chop the wood and do the work. Okay? Thank you all for watching and listening, and I look forward to your comments.